She's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for Queen Sugar Season 3, episode... Wait, it was episode... I think it's episode 13. I did not write down the episode number. I think I forgot. But it's the episode that came on this week. Okay, it's just a little bit late. Yes, it's daylight outside. I'm off work today, so I'm able to record. That's why you'll get this video. I have time to record now. I was going to record when I got home yesterday, but I was tired. I said, you know what? I'm off work tomorrow. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to be up until 4 o'clock in the morning recording. And I went to sleep. So I'm up today, you know, I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, giving y'all some reviews. Anyway, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and be an active subscriber. When you watch the other videos, you comment, you like the videos, you share the videos, you know what I'm saying? Do not forget to hit that little bell to notify you when I have new videos up. And reminder, I will be live tonight on YouTube, my channel, at 10 p.m. I'm here in Michigan, so 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will have food. It's going to be like a mukbang type thing, because someone asked on my last live, can we have food and drinks? I'm like, okay, I guess so. We'll do that. I'm not going to have no food, a whole bunch of stuff. I might get me, you know, a good old egg roll, corned beef egg roll, or, excuse me, some chicken Alfredo from Red Lobster. I'm not sure what I'm going to eat, but I'm going to go pick up my food before I come on live. So we shall see. And also do not forget, my merchandise is still available. You know, my hoodies, my t-shirts, the mug. The link to shop with my items is in the description box below this video. So please, I'm saying, for those of y'all who have already bought stuff, thank you. But, you know what I'm saying, go buy a hoodie or whatever. Get your little mug, get your little shirt, you know what I'm saying, come through. Anyway, so we see, you know, this episode, you know, I love Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar, each episode, I think someone else said this too, each episode could be a whole movie. Each episode gives you so much. You feel full, but you still want a little bit more. So it's as if each week you get a movie, and it's another sequel and a sequel, and it keeps going, and and you're not tired of it. Like, you know, we on what's like the Fast and Furious, like the ninth movie. So I feel like, you know, I'm kind of getting tired of that. But this sequel of Queen Sugar, because each episode is a sequel to the first episode. I'm continuing to love it. So the episode opens up, and we see, you know, Rod is walking in the prison. I'm like, why was he arrested? Why they fuck? What? No, what is going on here? What's going on? I was scared for a little bit of a moment, but we see he's actually in the prison to talk to the other prisoners, and I'm like, okay. Whew. I was a little worried, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going to go on, because we seen a scene where someone said, hey, can we talk to you? And I was like, oh, they're going to try to sneak him into prison, so I was a little bit scared. Anyway, he's there giving them his honest feelings on how he felt and what he went through when he first got out of prison, how he first would just, you know, cry in the shower, you know, when he was home, because he still had that feeling of being institutionalized, and also feeling like he was kind of, unseen. He said he still felt isolated, and so for him it was still a weird feeling of, even though I'm free, I don't feel free, because I'm still in that prison mind state. And then, you know, he's like, my family is what kept me straight during those times, and, you know what I'm saying, that's kind of what it was, and that's how I was able to do certain things. He said, you know, for me, I feel like everyone needs a purpose, you know what I'm saying, and that's why I'm able to be here and talk to y'all, because my daddy gave me his land, and so the land is my purpose, you know what I'm saying, it's what feeds my spirit. And he looks at each of them like, you know what I'm saying, y'all have to find y'all purpose. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, look, you are worth something, and I'm like, oh, that was so powerful. First of all, do y'all realize Rod's face is a little strokey? I was not gonna say that in the last episode when he was at the what was the last episode, or it might be the episode before last, when he was in the mediation with Darla. His face, like, it's a little sideways, and I don't know, because I'm like, I don't think it was like that in the beginning. I wonder if that is a actor's mechanism to show he looks different because he's going through different things. I'm like, his face, I'm like, I don't remember him being like that in season 1, so I don't know what that's about, but I'm like, I notice it a lot in here, or I think it's when he's talking and he's stressed, his face does things, and I'm thinking that maybe a Ralph Angel characteristic that he's putting in there, that he looks differently when he's under pressure or he's feeling some kind of thing. You can see it all in his face, so I'm thinking that could be what it is. Anyway, he tells each of them one by one, you're all worth something. And he says, I look at all of y'all and I see, new beginnings and hope. So, when you get out of here, go find a life, go start a life and live it. I'm like, that was amazing. Okay. It was absolutely amazing. So, he and his PO was outside talking or whatever. And the PO lets him know that he has been approved. He has a phone call actually and says he has been approved to be released, or papers a month, or like within a month. So like in 30 days, you'll be a completely free man. You'll be off parole. And then Rod's happy, of course. Like, oh my God, so great news. And I love how the PO told him, you earned this. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a technicality. This isn't an older system. It's just so bogged down by people who are on parole. We're gonna let people off early. No, you earned the right to be let off early because you've done so much work on yourself. And I'm like, that's a great thing. Micah planned the whole rally, and he's a bit upset because as he looks out into the crowd of the volunteers, his friends are not there. And those friends are the ones who, I got my thing on pause, and I'm like, why is it on pause? The friends, those friends he met, who kind of got him into this whole situation, they are not there. But he has to get up before people talk about what's the plan for it or whatever. And Micah's very soft spoken. He's very quiet, if you ask me. I feel like sometimes he does not have the fire in him at all times. He has fire in him here and there. You know what I'm saying? It's like his balls haven't dropped yet. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can equate it to. Micah's balls haven't dropped yet. So he wants to be this fierce, ferocious person about this cause, but he is just so calm and so quiet, and just so he's stuck in a point of not wanting to ruffle feathers, but wanting to ruffle feathers. So he's talking, but no one's listening. Like, he's talking, the people they talk. As he on the stage talking, the people in the audience are talking to each other. They're just not paying him attention. Like, he did not garner the attention or respect people, because he's just so, oh my Micah. It's like, no, you gotta kind of just, he didn't command the crowd yet. That was what it was. And so people like, Charlie, what is he talking about? And so Charlie had, boisterous, we don't, and then she starts talking about what he's doing. He kind of just backs up and stops because he wasn't doing that yet. He's soft spoken or whatever. I feel like Micah has good ideas, but he's too soft spoken at this point in time to put him out there. So he hasn't gotten to that. His balls ain't dropped yet. Nova wrote a book. Okay, we know she's writing this whole book or whatever, and she has her best friend read it, and her best friend, it's great. It's possibly your greatest work. However, does your family know? Like, did they give you permission to use this stuff? I'm like, use what stuff? What stuff she used, Nova? What your ass done done, Nova? So she's like, well, they don't know yet, no, and they didn't give me like their permission, like verbatim, but what I wrote in here is based on conversations and interviews that I had with them. So it's kind of implied that it's okay for me to use it. No, Nova, that's not how this goes. Not how any of this works. She brings up like, this is what I want to write. Like, this is what I want to say, and I'm like, okay, but she like, look, best friend was best friend. Nova, I get that, but look, Nova, it's a lot of truth in this goddamn book. Are you sure that this is what you want? Just like, it's a thin line when you start claiming other people's stories. And I don't think she meant as in you're taking their stories and saying that it's what happened to you, but you're talking about things that include other people's. And that's why I say, like, when I do my lives or I do my story times, I have to be very cautious about the stories I tell, because I never want to tell someone else's story or just talk about something that someone else might not want out there. So I'm very cautious about what I say when I do my little story times, and I think Nova could, also learn from that. But she told Nova, like, this is going to be explosive. You know what I'm saying? You're playing with fire. You know what I'm saying? Molly, you in danger, girl, because it can get bad, okay, when this gets out. And then she says, Nova said, him saying, these are stories that we need to talk about. These are stories and conversations that black people need to be having. So I'm looking like, what the fuck did she put? Because we don't see what we don't see what it is yet. So she like, but this is what I want to discuss. Charlie has a date with that man. I keep forgetting his name every episode. I think I only remember his name one time. Is it Roberto or Rometto? It's something where if you say it, you can roll your R's, because I can't do that, and I want to, but I can't remember what his actual name is. But y'all know who I'm talking about. The dude that's also a nurse or whatnot. So they're having dinner at his house or whatever. It's going fine, you know what I'm saying? They laughing and talking, you know what I'm saying? Bring up what they did in their former lives. She brings up how she used to just be worried about her husband's career. Beforehand, she was all into that. Like, she wasn't much into the community at all, because her whole life revolved around branding and marketing and money, all about Davis West. And then he said, well, when did that change? Like, what happened? What changed it? And she said, well, my daddy died and I came to Louisiana, things just changed. So he brings up how he, was teased when he was younger. He was a horrible dancer. And then they both laugh and dance, horribly. It was very cute, you know what I'm saying? And she was laughing. As she was laughing, he looked at her and told her, I just love your joy. I said, oh, that is, what I'm saying? And that's not how can say how can someone say what they love? It's a thing to look at someone and see them laughing, and this free spirited laughs, and they're full of joy in those moments. That is a beautiful thing to see. So I love how he said it. Like, I just love your joy, because in that moment, that's what she was emoting. It was really, really good. And then she's like, you're such a great human being. Like, you do so much. You take care of people or whatever. You're always servicing and helping other people, and I think this is so fantastic. And then they end up kissing. Okay, a whole kiss, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and in that moment, I feel like they both were frozen. They were frozen in that moment of kissing. And sometimes that first kiss with someone is the moment that you want to be frozen in, because it lets you know if it's worth something. You know what I'm saying? Is it worth, continuing on to like someone? And I think it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So we do see we at the rally. At the rally. My mouth is dry, y'all. Sorry about that. So we're at the rally, and Micah is speaking, and again, he's being very soft spoken. His fire isn't there yet. And not only that, he's reading from notes. Sometimes you have to learn how to even write. Like, my notes that I have when I'm reviewing stuff, I don't have like long drawn out notes. I have key notes for me to look at it and see something and then talk about it. Whereas he's like reading, like, he's reading from here, and then he has to see what the next thing say, so he can say the next thing. It's not, you can't do that kind of thing. So it's like he's reading from the notes, but his heart is not in it. And he kind of looks up when he sees Kiki, and Kiki kind of like, he looks up and he sees her, and she sees him, and they're looking at each other. He's like, oh, okay, she's here. So he puts his notes down, and his balls drop. His balls drop, and he starts speaking from his heart. And I have notes on what he said, because I can't remember that stuff. I loved what was written for Micah to say. I do wonder if that was writers or if any of it was the actor himself. But, I love what was wrote. He brings up how he's bleeding on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Because he, too, has been violent. Because the rally is all about the prisons. The prison, they don't want the prisons built. It's about injustice and people being locked up, whatever. So he brings up how he, too, has been violated. He then tells the story about how the cop pulled him over, arrested him, pulled him over, put the gun in his mouth, and then, pulled the trigger and laughed. And he said, I felt like, what made the cop think he had the power to do that and make him feel that way. He said, I feel like the cop thought his life was worth more than my life. And, what I'm saying, that of course, we know that traumatized him. And, he said, I will no longer use my silence to cover up for him anymore. And he says the cop's name. Because remember, no one knows what really happened to someone. He said, like, I was pulled over. He, put the gun in my mouth. And he said, I did not know at the time that the gun was empty. But he made me believe that it was a bullet in there, and he pulled the trigger and was laughing at me, whatever. So he brings up the story. We see Hollywood, we see Ralph Angel, we see Aunt Vi, Just the people and there was a lot of people there. They all are shocked at what happened and how he kind of kept it inside. So he like, if they build this prison, they're going to fill the prison. Like, the prison is now built, with bricks and all that stuff. The prison is going to be built, by the blood of people. It's going to be filled with bodies and blood or whatever. And we can't have that. It's bodies and blood. I'm like, that's true. You don't. The prisons are built. You have to fill them with people, with souls, with minds, with people. Okay, with fucking people. So it's a thing of, I love how he said, how that he said they put hope in cages and basically silence black and brown people by putting them in prison. And it's fucking true. It's absolutely true. And I'm like, Micah at this point, he's speaking this truth and he's being this ferocious speaker and activist. And I think if I hit him, I can't be this person if I'm not speaking my own truth and letting go of what happened to him and speaking on it. He found his own voice, because that voice he was speaking with, that was a whole different voice. That was a whole different voice, and he spoke his truth. And he brings up how, he's like, but I survived. Like, I survived it. You know what I'm saying? I have a mom and dad who helped me too. But like, some people don't have that. Like, what happens to the people who don't survive, or the people who don't have a parent to. Y'all know it's the gnat crawling, right? On my cord. Anyway, oh my God. He said, but what happens to a person who does not have a mom or dad or support system, and those who do not survive, and they just have to deal with it or whatever? He's like, he found some balls, and he, found his voice. So that was a great scene or whatever. And of course, everyone's like, no to the prisons, no prisons or whatever. We see that, and they're all kind of behind him. And behind the cause of, we need to fight against this. Absolutely. We see a quick scene with Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi meet with the dude, the white guy who was the manager. I can't think of his name. I said the white guy, the manager of the grocery store that was helping her with the pie stuff. And he can see she's kind of apprehensive. He's like, I'm happy you told me about the you going in the hospital or whatever. I think that was great that you told me about that. You were honest. And, and I feel like, this is kind of moving pretty fast, because they're looking at locations to have Aunt Vi's pies. And then she's like, yeah, I just didn't think it would go so fast. He said, well, you know what, I get that. And, but I think I found a place that maybe you might like, it may be a good location and have a whole, it might feel like home. He's like, okay, where's this place? And he like, we sitting in it. And they at the High Yellow. And she was like, what? And he was like, yeah, the owner is retiring or whatever. So he put the place up on the market, and it's available. And she was like, oh my God, I remember 20 years ago when I was 40, and I came in here and applied for a waitress job, at 40. And I got the job, but it helped me gain some of my own independence. It was a piece of my own self, my own independence in that moment. She's like, it took 18 years for me to make it to manager. And I just can't believe it. He said, well, now, this can be yours. And I was like, okay, a whole full-fledged circle for Aunt Vi. I think that's a great thing that I like how Aunt Vi's story is evolving. She's now the matriarch of the family. And, she's marrying Hollywood, and, she's always trying to fix their issues, but she still needs something of her own. And I like how they're giving her something of her own step by step. Even though they're giving her lupus, they're showing how that kind of isn't stopping her from still going towards what she wants. I think that was kind of great. We see Charlie and Micah are basically at home, and they're watching the video of him speaking, which is when viral now. It has like 300,000 views, and she's like, it's creating change. Like, it's creating change. It's spreading the word or whatever. And it's a great thing that the video is being spread out and everyone's seeing it. And he says, well, all I did was tell the truth. And she's brought up how if telling the truth was that easy, everyone would do it, and they haven't. So we then see on the news that more victims of that same cop who did stuff to Micah are coming up and speaking out after he spoke up. So Micah's like, oh, more victims? Like, this is just crazy. So, because it's one thing to think, okay, he did this to a couple people. It's like, no, it's more people he did it to who stayed silent. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't think about that. So we see that there's how other people are joining in for the fight and want to be against the prison being built. But however, the plans to build the prison has not been delayed just yet. So, you know, and Charlie just tells Micah, you know, I could not be more proud of you for what you've done so far. And I think that's a whole great thing. So we see Rod and Darla at the house, you know, having a conversation or whatever. You know, she brought Blue a gift because it's something that he said all his friends have, but it has to kind of be built. So she's like, I brought it over because hopefully we can, no, not hopefully. She says, maybe we can, you know, all build it together if that's not too weird or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's, you know, not the right thing to do. And Rod was like, no, we can do it, like, it's fine, it won't be weird. And I like how they kind of had this breakdown of whatever, where she tells him, like, look, you know what I'm saying, I just want to make sure that we're okay, that we're able to co-parent, and that we're good. And it was not even thinking of her checking them or whatever, but it's a thing of, I want to bare my soul because you are the other parent to my son, and we have to be bonded in this for life. So I just need us to be okay, like parent, like co-parent wise. I need us to be good. And I like how he's, you know, saying, no, we good, we great. The calmness in their voice, and there's no negativity in their voice. There's more. They wonder if the other one understands how they don't have a beef anymore. Like, I just want to co-parent with you, and that's really good. And we see they both feel the exact same way. And then we see how Darla says, you know, Blue said that she's really nice, and Rod looked up like, what? She's like, her name is Trent, right? You know, Blue told me how she's teaching him about all different kind of fish and stuff, and how she's really nice. He says, yeah, she is really nice or whatever. You know, I met her at work. But I told her that I have a lot going on. You know, because right now, Blue is my only focus. So, you know, me and her, we're just work friends now. We're not dating anymore. Because, again, my main focus is Blue. And then she said, you know, I want you to be happy, Ralph. And I want you to be happy. I want us both to find happiness in whatever ways we can. And I love, because what she meant was, I know you stopped talking to her because I was taking you to court. I know that's what it was, but I want you to be happy, so be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to not be happy in order to appease me. And that's what I got from her saying, I want us to be happy however we can find it. You know, I love how he told her, like, I want you to be happy too. And he tells her how he proud of her, how proud of him, how proud of her he is for her sticking to staying clean and sober and kind of getting her life back on track and kind of coming back to be on track with Blue, how he admires her for doing that. And then Blue comes in because he sees them, they're talking whatever, and they're like, we talking about you. And they're going, as a family, they was building this little toy thing for him. Again, you know, it's a thing of, it's not, you know, it's not about if Darla and Rod can work it out. I think they should not. I don't think they need to be a couple. I think they have a cycle of, we are so in love, and we're these lovebirds, and then something goes wrong, and then we hate each other, and then we separate, and that always ends up fucking Blue up. Like, if you think about it, they were together before, something happened, they broke up, she got pregnant, they got back together, okay, got back together. You know, he then went to prison, she was on crack. All these things happen because when they get together, things end up falling apart, and it's always a bad thing. And the same thing happened here. So this time, I'm like, they don't need to be together. Like, I don't think that they are each other's long lost loves. I don't think that. I think the reason they were brought together was to create Blue, and that is the thing that they can always be connected through and always love. Is my opinion. Anyway. We see Charlie go to see Sam's sister. I don't know Sam's sister's name. I think the first time it was said, I just did not remember it. And most TV shows have a habit of not repeating the characters' names, which sometimes is aggravating as a reviewer because I'm like, I don't know her name, and I don't like Googling it for the cast and then finding the pictures too much. Anyway, Charlie's telling her, like, look, I want to, you know, destroy Sam. I want to destroy the whole thing or whatever. I want a whole knockout. I don't want to kind of just, like, I needed the oil to be burnt to the ground, basically, as far as Sam is concerned. So she asked the sister, like, I want the books. The real books. And she's like, you know, well, if there were a second set of books, you know, if there was real, you know what I'm saying, they would ruin the company. That wouldn't help me because I want to run the company. Charlie has the whole plan. She's like, you know what? once they see how badly in debt Sam is, once they see how dirty he is, they won't want to work with him. They'll see how bad he is, not really the company. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And she's like, and then, you know what I'm saying, every person will walk away from the whole prison deal and from working with him. She said at the, you know, when all that falls to the wayside, you can then come in as the savior, as the superwoman, you know what I'm saying, and save, be the hero and save the company, save your family name or whatever, and then it makes you look like, you know what I'm saying, the glorious one or whatnot. And then she's like, well, okay, okay, but I think I need some reassurance that I will be in control, so I want some of your shares. And then Charlie like, girl, bye. I don't know about that. She's like, that's a lot to ask. Well, this is the business, Charlie. You know, a lot is a lot to ask. She brings up, you know, what about my seat at the table? Well, Charlie, you will always have a seat at my table. It's something about this white woman I don't trust. It's in the back of my mind. I'm getting like, what if she laid him the skeleton key and I don't know. It's just something about it I don't trust. I don't trust it, and I'm like, is Charlie so focused on taking out Sam, she may not get that Sam's sister could be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of part that I'm wondering about in the back of my head. If Sam's sister is worse, and if she's playing Charlie in a whole different way than what we know. So that's the kind of question I have. She does tell Charlie, like, with you being on this whole prison reform, this prison not being built thing, if you leak these real books, it will look as if that's just you serving your agenda, and it will be less likely to be taken seriously. It'll be more ignored coming from you, and it will seem as if it's not the truth. She's like, so you need to kind of be far removed from certain things. So Charlie said, you know, I'll give you 1% of my shares or whatever, but I want the farmers back at their homes with favorable rates, is for one, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you do that to get all the farmers back on their homes and on their land, you know what I'm saying, that would be good PR for you, and it's basically a great business move. And then she says, and I also want my meal back. You know, Queen Sugar Meal belongs to us, the boy belongs, and that's where it should always stay. It belongs to my family. And she said, you know what, for 1%, you know what I'm saying, that's a lot. Like, for one, she said, I want more than 1% of your shares if you want your meal back. I want much more. And then she said, well, you know what, if you want more, then I want more too. Like, you know what I'm saying, you gotta give me more than just the meal. I'm like, what else you want, girl? So we then see Charlie at the house. Prosper's daughters come to pick him up or whatever, and he gonna like meet her somewhere else, and then go back to Chicago with the daughter. And, you know, he tells Micah how when he's leaving, how, you know, he was a born leader. And when Micah did the speech thing, he became a leader, and I do believe that or whatever. And of course that touches Micah. So we then see he and Charlie leave, but Charlie takes him to his old land, you know, before leaving. Like, oh, is he gonna see one last time? But no, Charlie gives him the deed to the house, and gives him the keys to the house, the deed to the house and to the land, and tells him, you know what I'm saying, it's yours. She's like, how did you do this? And she just says, you know what I'm saying, it's yours, whatever. This land belongs to you. It's your land. And then he is just so overwhelmed, like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. He hugs her, whatever. It brought him to tears, and he's like, you know, I just need to go walk around my land and feel the land up under my feet. And I'm like, okay, that must be a part of what she wanted, as far as I want much more than just the meal. So I mean, to get the meal and to also get to have the people I love own their own land, like they're not up under, you know, your thumb, is a great thing too. So that was a really great thing. It ends with Nova. You know, Nova's at the house or whatever, working on her little book and whatnot, and we see how she was watching Micah's speech, and when he was saying how, you know, the prisons are built by blood and bodies, and so she changed the name of her book to Blessings and Blood. Okay. And she sends the book to her publisher. And I'm like, okay. We then see her, because, you know, she has that big wall that has all her ideas of what she could or would discuss in her writings. And we see she starts taking down sticky notes, meaning she's taking down sticky notes of things she's already discussed, of things that was in this book. So this is the sticky note she took down. Ralph Angel's paternity test, because it was his words. Ralph Angel's paternity test. Calvin the white cop. Too sweet. Daddy's Letter, Lupus, and lastly, Melina G. Now see, okay, so Rob Paternity mean how Darla cheated and Blue ain't his baby. Okay, so that's one thing. Calvin the white cop, she was fucking a cop who was also married. Too sweet. The whole thing, she was selling weed and she sold weed to somebody and they ended up going to jail for it for having the weed. So that was the whole thing. Daddy's Letter, meaning they had no idea that Daddy left the land to strictly Rye and not them. Not him and Charlie. Lupus. Speaking about Anvi's Lupus, she told your ass she didn't want to talk about a girl. And Melina G, I had to Google the name because I'm like Melina, because it was Melina in the last name. I'm like, who the fuck is Melina? And I kept trying to spell the name. I couldn't spell the name right, and I kept googling it in different ways, and finally it popped up, and I was like, oh bitch, Melina is the girl who in season 1 accused Davis's teammates of raping her. And then when Charlie and Davis went to pay her off, she had a recording of Davis ass talking about, I pay you to do things my wife won't do. Why would you go to the press about what happened with the dudes? Didn't they pay you? You know what I'm saying? You get paid, that's what you get paid for, to get fucked, whatever. And that's what made Charlie leave Davis. Because in reality, Davis knew that his teammates raped that girl. And he made it seem as if he had no idea what was going on. And not only that, she was also having a regular relationship with Davis. I'm like, bitch. So Nova's book basically tells tea on her whole family. Her whole fucking family. I say, bitch, they gonna hate you. Oh, Nova has made some difficult decisions in her time on the show. Nova, girl, you not, girl, no, don't do it. Anyway, that's the whole ending of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget, I will be live on my YouTube tonight at 10 p.m. Get your questions together, get your food together. We're gonna have some eats. I might have some drinks, I'm not sure. But yeah, peace.